We are back with our person class, and we are going to take a look at one more thing called an inline method. An inline method is a method that you actually will write in your .header file instead of in your .cpp implementation file. If you have a very short method, and the perfect example for that was our deconstructor, if I put my curly braces in on my deconstructor here, I don't need to define it in my .cpp file. So if I comment it out, let me put it all in one line. If I comment that out in my header file and I execute the code, remember before we had a conflict there where it said that the deconstructor was redefined, and so we went and deleted the curly braces from our .header file. Well, it's possible if you have a very short method, you can write that code in line in the header file. Another good one to potentially do that with is your getters, because your getters are pretty common across industry. There's not going to be anything in your getters that you are going to have that's kind of like secret code. And so if I were to, for example, return, well, let me put it on the correct getter, return the employee ID here on employee ID, I need to have my beginning brace for my method. So let me actually show it this way. If I were to write it out properly, I have my method kind of looking like this. It would be just return employee ID. If I do that, I need to go back to my class and I need to comment out this section of code right here. And I believe we can do that under Edit Advanced, and we can do comment out that section. And then if I run my code again, it should execute without any problems. That's called creating an inline method. So an inline method is a method that is executed, or excuse me, a method that is written in your .header file. And the only time that you do that is when you have a piece of code that is very short, and it also doesn't include any kind of secrets that you want to have given away. So that's our code that's executing, so it's executing just fine. When you do write an inline method, you will often see it kind of all on one line a lot of times. So if I hit and put this back the way I had started to write it, is you're going to see it often like this. So your inline method right here is this line of code, and inline, this is what I've been saying, that's an inline method. We also have an inline method down here now. So that just shows you what an inline method is, and it would be appropriate on getters. I honestly would not use it too much. I would only use it maybe on your deconstructor, I'll be honest with you, because I want to make sure that you can set up the structure and everything, but just know that that is a possibility. Not used a lot, but it can be used.